My name is Nicole Carmines, and I am the Children's Ministry Director at Concordia Lutheran in San Antonio. I have been on staff for over 14 years, and Concordia is actually my church home where I was baptized and confirmed. My parents were married there, so I've just been there for a long time. It wasn't until after I went to college that I came back from school and decided I really needed to get involved in church and start becoming active. I have a degree in choral conducting, so I taught in the public school system after college for 2 years, and at that time I was just volunteering in all the different areas of children's ministry. And at that time our senior pastor said, our children's ministry director, she's my daughter, she's actually taking a call up to St. Louis, so we're looking for a children's director, and your volunteering criteria, it's our job description, so we wanted to know if you would come and serve here. So I thought about it and prayed about it for a weekend, and now it's almost been 15 years. It'll be 15 this summer. I oversee our Sunday school. We have about 18 classrooms, pre-K 3 all the way up to 5th grade. I used to do confirmation. I oversee our Vacation Bible School, Easter egg hunt, children's worship. We have children's worship during the 11 o'clock hour on Sunday morning. We have 3 services, 8, 9:30, and 11. 8 o'clock is just family worship. 9:30 we do have church and a Sunday school component. And at 11 o'clock we have church and a children's worship component, plus some more adult education. But I have been married to my husband Nathan for 9 years, and we have one daughter, Amelia. She's 5. And so today we're going to talk about VBS and Easter egg hunts. And so looking at an Easter egg hunt, we do an Easter egg hunt on the Saturday that's before Easter. It's a huge outreach event. So the majority of the people on our campus are not members. It's just people from around our area of town. And so our hope is to invite these people to come to our Easter egg hunt, and then hopefully they'll come back for church and then get connected and be a part of our church family. So in doing an Easter egg hunt, we've got a lot of training that has to happen. These are kind of like the job descriptions that are available, all the different roles people can be involved in. They can help out with stuffing the Easter egg kits, and I'll go into great detail about that in just a minute. They can also talk about they can also volunteer for the day of. There's field assistants, welcome team, setup and takedown, hospitality, and security. But let's look at the one and only job that is available weeks and weeks ahead of the hunt, and that is the egg stuffing kit. For our Easter egg hunt to happen, we have, it's a pretty large event. There are about 30,000 eggs that we put out on a field for kids to hunt. I don't really know the number of people that come, it's just a whole lot. But we have an egg stuffing operation, and this happens about 4 or 5 weeks out from Easter. What we do is we do buy all the candy, we budget for that, some of it is donated, and we buy all the eggs. We tried years ago to be just very conservative stewards of our resources. We recycled the eggs, we ran them through the school cafeteria dishwasher, tried to rinse them and wash them. Well, then they were warped and they wouldn't snap shut, and the next year that we did that, the Easter egg hunt was a disaster because everything popped open and it was just a big mess. So we thought, okay, we're trying to be good stewards. We tried this, it didn't work. We're going to make a little bit of an investment, shop smart. We go to Hobby Lobby. I don't know if y'all have Hobby Lobbies where you are. You know, if you use a church credit card or a church check, you get an additional 10% off. And we just waited until the eggs were 50% off, so we were getting them at 60% off. And we order them through the store and pick them up, and so we bring them back to the church along with the candy, and we have an egg stuffing party. And so this is a picture in our narthex. And after we've done research for the candy, we start in January and we go to the store and we buy 1 package of everything so we can see the quantity inside each bag. Then we take that back to the office and we do the math and we figure out how are we going to get up to enough candy to fill 30,000 eggs. And so we just kind of do the math and multiply and figure out, okay, we need 45 bags of these Skittles, we need 160 bags of these Hershey Kisses, and it takes a lot of time and effort to do this candy research because you want to get candy that's going to fit in the egg. So I always would take an egg with me in my purse, and I would hold it up to the bags of candy and make sure it would fit. I've done that before where I bought candy and got it back to the office and tried to stuff it and it didn't fit. So we make sure, one, you want to make sure it fits in the egg, and two, you want to make sure that it doesn't have peanuts. And so trying to find stuff that doesn't have any peanuts in it was kind of challenging to do. But we set up a whole area of just egg stuffing kit assembly. Here's another view just of how we try to streamline this process. You can see right here all this candy on that table. We've got Post-it notes in front of each kind of candy. And so we like to have an assortment per each kit. So we tell them you're gonna have to add up in your head or use your phone and a calculator, but each Post-it note in front of each section of candy tells you how many packets or how many candies are in each bag that will get you, to that ultimate number of 300. Each kit has 300 eggs. So basically, we've got in a kit, it's just a trash bag, and what goes in the kit is empty Easter eggs, an instruction sheet, which is just like this, and it tells our people exactly what is involved in your kit. You have one trash bag. It's going to contain approximately 300 eggs. They're all brand new in sleeves, prepackaged. It's going to have enough candy to fill your 300 eggs. And also in your kit, trash bag kit, you have an instruction sheet. And it tells them how many pieces of candy go in each egg. It tells them if you have a stubborn egg that won't snap shut, encourage it with a piece of tape. It's taken a couple years for us to think of all the different details of how things have been challenging and gone wrong, but we like to think that, there's always room for improvement, and so whenever we found another tip that would help, we just add it to our egg stuffing kit sheet. And then we also give them a due date and tell them when the eggs are due. Now in this next slide, you're going to see that we have two different bags. Anybody know why we have two different color bags?
Completed and not done.
No, they're actually all kits that are not completed yet, but because it's so hot in Texas, we've had our Easter egg hunt sometimes in 36-degree weather with it raining, and we've also done Easter egg hunts when it's been 97 degrees and it's just hot, hot, hot. So we've learned that we're going to put all of the egg kits that have chocolate in black bags, and all the candy that's non-chocolate in white bags. And what we do the Friday before Easter egg hunt, we take all those black bags that have chocolate candy in them, we take it to our school cafeteria and put it in a refrigerator. If you don't have access to that, you could probably outsource different folks. It would take a lot of planning and just finding people that had freezers or just large refrigerators. But it was helpful for us with our climate to put them all in a refrigerator and keep them cold, so that the next morning when we were putting out the eggs, if it was really hot that year, it would take a little while for it to start melting. So that's why we've got the black and the white. And here's just a little video, and it's a raw video. I just got raw footage of some friends, some mops. These are moms from my mops group that came up to help, and this takes place as long as you have everything pre-arranged and sorted out and ready to go. It took us maybe an hour. It was so quick to make I forget how many kits, 300 kits of Easter eggs, so that the
Is the trash bag a kit then?
The trash bag is the kit. It holds everything, and it's a brand new, of course, clean trash bag. But that's what people come and check out. And on Sunday morning, about 3-4 weeks before the Easter weekend, that's when we do Easter egg kit checkout. And we make it available on a Sunday morning. People come and they give us their name and their phone number and their email address, and they tell us how many kits they're checking out. And I'll tell you, I feel so bad for the 9:30 and the 11 o'clock folks, because by the time the 8 o'clock is over, all the kits are usually spoken for. People love doing this job. They love taking the kit home. They love sitting around the TV with their family. Welcome, come on in. They love doing this little servant event for the church, and it's something that families can do. It's something that little children can do with their parents, just stuffing the eggs and bringing back that trash bag with the instruction sheet, because not only is this one sheeter an instruction sheet, but on the back side it tells us, give us your name so that we can mark you as current and you have turned in your kit to us, and then we can figure out from our checkout list that we made on checkout day who still has their bag out. And then we also tell them if you had any problems, any issues, if you have leftover eggs, let us know. We'll find candy to go in those. If you have leftover candy, let us know. We'll have extra eggs. So that's our egg stuffing kit process, and it's just a lot of fun. Another job, so that was the one and only job that we have for this event that is a couple weeks out. Every other position is day of event. Field assistants. We have our Easter egg hunt is on our athletic soccer field, football field. And if you can see up here, this is what families get when they come onto our campus for the Easter egg hunt. This gives them a map of the playing field. We have it divided up by age group. We used to have just one, so it used to look just like this, and they were just a little too crowded. We have a lot of space, so we just really spread out, and we made our Easter egg field sections. We made them just bigger, and all it is, it's wooden stakes with a hole drilled, and then it's flagging tape threaded all the way through, and it just makes a big rectangle. And so you can see that purple quadrant right there, and so all of those eggs are just sprinkled in there. Around that area we have a PVC frame. You can kind of see it over here. There's a PVC frame with some signage that tells you this is first grade. And so all the families that have first grade, and if they have a pre-K person too, we don't want the family to have to split up. So we just tell them, just have your family pick one of the ages of your kids, and we're just trying to We're trying to be intentional about dividing up the mass. And so this really works. It's not perfect. It's not super strict law. They have to be in their own age group. But as long as everyone's kind of dividing up equally, that's what works. And so they stand around this perimeter until the Easter egg hunt starts. And our pastor's on our volleyball referee podium thing, and he's with a microphone. We have a sound system, and he's the one that does the final countdown. And as soon as it's time to go, the weeks of planning is over before we get to 20 seconds. I mean, it is clean, and the kids have picked up all the eggs. It is so fast. And so all they do is once it's time to go, they break that flagging tape, and everybody just kind of goes to the center, and they start picking up their eggs. The field assistants, they're in charge of their little age group. They're assigned to that post, and they kind of are around the perimeter. They're the ones that spread out all the eggs, and they also close up the eggs that have opened in transit, and they replenish as needed. So if this first grade area had just tons of people around the perimeter before it started, those field assistants know, and they can look around at the playing fields next to them, and if the kindergarten group next to them doesn't have as many, then they're going to go over to kinder and say, hey, we have more people than you do, can I take 2 of your bags? And so they just replenish as needed, and everyone has eyes and just trying to make sure it's as even as possible. Our welcome team, you have to think, if you're going to have an event that is going to bring people to your campus that are normally not there, it's going to increase the numbers of people, you have to be intentional about capturing some information. So what we've done, we've had some donations. Sometimes we've had special gifts earmarked for Easter projects or whatever. We have done raffles, and it could be a simple $100 gift card to Walmart or a grocery store, or it could be something even a little bit less, maybe, a $15 gift card to Sonic. People will give you little bits of information if you're going to give them something, a chance to win something. And so it's valuable information. We've had many events for years where we had just tons of outsiders come onto our campus, and we never captured that information. And that's such a huge missed opportunity. So if you are having an event that's going to bring guests, you need to know who they are, where they're coming from, and figure out a way that you can contact them and make that connection later. So welcome team. Everyone thinks that they're there to be the greeters and to be a happy smiling face, and they are. But there is another reason why we have them there. It's to capture that information. We've got our setup and takedown, which is pretty explanatory. I believe in using pictures as visuals. When you have people coming to set up signage across the campus, you can tell them, okay, you're going to go to the driveway over by the front under the cross and put a sign there. They're going to, I guarantee where they put it and where you have in mind are going to be two different places. But if you go ahead of time, a couple weeks beforehand, and just go out there with your camera and another person, and just tell them to stand where you want certain signs to go. Snap a picture, make a little packet, and on the morning of the Easter egg hunt or whatever event it is, you can give them a little package of pictures and say, here are the signs, here are all the visuals, locations of where I want these signs to go. Take it and run with it. If you have any questions, let me know. But there's that one sheeter I told you about. Not only is it the map that they need for that day, so they can kind of get their bearings and know where they're supposed to go. Not only is it the capture piece of information and the instructions on how the Easter egg hunt goes down, it's also a marketing tool. We have our Easter services that are happening starting that evening and also the next morning. It's got our save the date for Vacation Bible School. It's a kid event, so you want to advertise the next kid event that's coming up. It also, because it's young families, it has a little information about a big event that our MOPS group does. And then it's also got some social media things about our church. We actually, if they weren't able to fill this out, they were able to text a certain message to a certain number, and that would electronically enter them into a drawing for a $100 gift card. And so people, if they didn't have time to stop at the welcome table because it was too crowded, this was something new that we thought of. Hey, well, if we're going to miss some people, if they see this, that they can do it without having to stop and write, they can just text something, we're going to get that information from them. So it's a great way to, I guess, start a relationship of communication with people that come onto your campus. Any questions about Easter egg hunt? I'll just tell you my last session ran over, so we have a lot to cover, but I want to stop and hear what y'all are doing because I'd like to learn from y'all as well.
What do you find to be the most effective way to follow up with guests?
I think the most effective way to follow up with guests is through, we do email blasts with our newsletter. I bet they even do, since they provide that text message, I think that I'm not really certain because I'm not a techie person, but I can find out for you. The cards that are on your table is a website that we've created. It's not Best Practices Conference, it's Concordia Lutheran Church at Best Practice. So all of us from Concordia Lutheran that are presenting, our presentations are going to be on this website. All of our timelines that we refer to, all of these instruction sheets will be on there. And I will listen to my recording and I'll find out for you the best way that we reach out to these people. But I would say email. I would say an email about upcoming events and just sermon series and things like that. Yes.
So we can go on the card
and all this will be there.
That'll show up.
Yep, it'll all be there. Okay, so let's move on, if you don't mind, to Vacation Bible School. This is my largest event. We were talking about VBS brings us to tears, right? Well, in my last session, I get a little choked up because it's just my heart. It's an awesome ministry, but it's also extremely draining. And I'll tell you, one year I did get so extremely dehydrated that I had to go to the hospital on the Saturday after VBS. So you've got to take care of yourself, and the best way to do that is you want to make sure that you are organizing, planning ahead, and just getting as much of the work done that you can do ahead of time, getting that done. So VBS is all about organization, volunteers, and finally, what it's all for is the kids. So let's talk about organization. Communication is key. It's really important that you have communication with the folks that are going to be on your teaching team. And I hope everything that I'm sharing with you today, no matter the size of your church, I hope that you don't feel like it's irrelevant. We are a large church. We have a large program. If you have a small church, I really do feel a lot of this can tie over and apply. But whether it's small or large, if you have 25 kids in your VBS, it's a daunting task. It's overwhelming. It takes a lot of stuff. It takes a lot of volunteers, and it's challenging. So I don't care if you've got 25 or if you have 2,000. It's a big job. And so setting up yourself with appropriate timelines and with effective ways to communicate and get many messages out with one click is the way to go. I like to set up my distribution lists through email early on. So because we are a large VBS, we do have a director over the whole thing, and that's me. We have a director over just Bible Story, and she has 11 classrooms of Bible Story. We have a director of crafts, and she's got 11 grades of crafts. We have a chatter theater or whatever, they have Imagination Station now. We have a theater person and they're over those 11 classrooms. Because of our numbers, we have to divide everything by 11. If we get much bigger, I'm gonna have to think outside the box and think of how I can get 12 of everything. But right now we're at 11. And so just being able to communicate with my directors who are in charge over their 11 of everything, it just trickles down. So I send my email out to my list of directors and then provide them information on how to connect with their volunteers that are going to be teaching in their department. So communication, everything from walkie-talkies to directors' meetings. Walkie-talkies are a huge necessity for us. Our campus is very large and it's open and we're very spread out. So we do have some black radios like police officers use. We have those for large events. Our school uses them every day to make sure that they're in communication with the pastor. If there's a question that can't wait over email, we use it for our drive-through nativity, all of our large events. So we do have a nice handful of those black radios that we've invested in, but we also have very productive years when we have our volunteers who have little walkabouts, the little walkie-talkies that you can get from Academy or Walmart. Those work great too. So making sure that there's a way, whether it's your cell phone and texting your people during the week of VBS, or if you have walkie-talkies, that makes it a lot easier. Communication is key. So registration is a huge piece of VBS, and I've been there. This is going to be my 14th VBS. And we've come a long way. Our registration used to be on the phone, and they would leave a message with child's name, child's last name, age, date of birth, allergies. I mean, it was ridiculous. And then so if someone's leaving a voice message, how do you think we got that into the computer? Someone had to do data entry. We have moved to online registration. And not only just online registration for the kids, but for the volunteers as well. And we get started, online registration goes live Easter weekend. We have a service on Saturday night, and so at 6 o'clock Saturday night when church starts, that's when our online registration goes live. And it just helps. If you don't do online registration, talk to me later, or we can talk on the phone when everybody gets back home, because there are things that you can do through Google Docs. They have great ways that you can design and make your own form, and you would be successful in making a detailed registration form with as many fields as you want. And then you can manipulate that data and organize it the way that you need to. Pre-registration, if you don't do that, you really should, because that Monday morning of VBS is crazy to begin with. And I don't care, again, if you have 25 kids or 2,000. It is crazy. Everyone's running around like a chicken with their head cut off. So if you can have pre-registration, and if you're going to have it, make sure that you have an ending date. And we have ours about 10 days out before VBS opens, because you have to have time to shut it down, stop it, and do all the manipulating that you need to do with all that data. And then you get it all packaged up, tidy, in a nice little box, ready to go. Print their name tags, have all that stuff ready to go for that Monday morning. And then phase 2 starts Monday morning. Then we have walk-up registration. So here's what registration kind of looks like on our campus. You can see over here, we've got pre-reg with the blue. They look black, but it's an alpha set of corrugated board that we put on PVC frames. Those PVC frames we use for a lot of different ministry events. They're cheap, they're durable, they can be broken down and stored away semi-tightly. But that's pre-registration. That's easy. This is a great job for some of the grandmas and grandpas who need a sit-down job, who can't be standing up, who don't want to be taking kids from station to station. They just sit there, and they're the A's and B's, and they have all the pre-registered kids with all, A through B, and they are making sure the parents come up, they get their name tag, they verify all the information that's on the name tag is correct, they initial it, and they make sure that they know where to take their child to their first drop-off point. This is a very important position. This is also under the registration team. This is our security table. We have such an open and large campus, and we're right on a highway. So we are very intentional about making sure our campus is safe. Once VBS starts and kids are without their parents, they're in our care, parents have left. If a parent is coming to drop off their child late, they may not take their child at 9, we start at 9 o'clock. They may not walk their child to the first rotation of crafts in the gym. We do that. They take them to the security check-in table because they're late. That parent is not background checked with our church. We don't know who they are. They don't have a name tag. They don't have a t-shirt on, uniform, so they can't walk and roam the campus once we have started, once the bell has rung. So late drop-off and early pickup, they have to go with these ladies in red at registration. Down here, this is about a week before VBS. It's a lot of work to set this up, but we set up the whole gamut. We put out all of the walk-up registration computers that we're going to have up and running. We have our staff members and some volunteers come up because we need to see how these computers are going to work, how quickly they're going to work. One year it was so slow and we didn't know why, but one of the plugs in that office, in that room right there, that's our usher's closet, it just needed to be updated. And so that year we were processing like 5 registrations an hour, and we had about 150 walk-ups. And these poor kids missed out on the first day because their parents were waiting in line. I, as a parent, would have gotten mad and left. So that's why we, triple check everything. We're gonna, it's a week out. Everyone's busy and doing their own thing, but we are gonna stop and we're gonna do this and we're gonna do it right. We're gonna test it out and make sure it's ready to go for opening day. This is walk-up registration. We've done it outside. We've done it inside. It's so hot. It's easier on our volunteers and our equipment to do it inside, and so we were able to move it inside. T-shirts. We have plain t-shirts for all of our volunteers for VBS. It's kind of pricey. There are some creative ways you can go about doing t-shirts. We have them blank. There's no pocket, there's no printing. It's just a blank t-shirt, and it identifies people by their role. You might be able to get folks to donate. Maybe you could ask them to bring, similar colors from home, but everybody gets a t-shirt that's volunteering for VBS. Our directors are in orange, our station leaders, everything from games, teenagers, to Bible story adults, to chatter theater folks, nursery workers, anybody who is leading groups of kids in a presenter kind of role wears yellow. Registration, they're all in red. Crew leaders for pre-K and K, they're green, and crew leaders 1st through 5th grade are in blue. And here's just kind of what some of that looks like. You can see everyone's got a name tag, a lanyard, they're all green. We have one main color every year for our lanyards, and that's what's holding the little name tag piece. And then you can see some of the craft teachers down here in the gym working on their crafts with their kids. Here is a view of some of our crew leaders in their blue shirts. We have an opening for 1st through 5th grade. Immediately when that's over, they're dismissed onto their first rotation. Then we have pre-K and K. We don't have room to fit everybody in the sanctuary without having to go upstairs, and we don't want to do stairs and just all that. It would take forever. So we have 2 openings and 2 closings. And so that's what the crew leaders look like for 1st through 5th grade, and here's what they look like for pre-K and K. The kids love to decorate their shirts. We are very strict about no cutting because some of the sweet girls would like to cut down to here, and they just, the boys do this, and, we tell them, if you cut your shirt, we're going to give you a new one, and you're going to pay for it. But they do puffy paint and write the names of their kids on their shirt, and it's just become a big thing. They love to decorate their shirts. Our parent guide, this is on the website when they register. In fact, there's a box that they check, which actually I think they have to type their name in, and it's their signature that they have read and they agree to our parent guide. Our parent guide is very detailed on information that they need to know. Like, we don't allow flip-flops. We have broken toes out the wazoo when the kids are wearing flip-flops, so it's closed-toe shoes only. Very detailed information about how to drop off and pick up. If you're running late, it talks about go to the red shirts. At the security check-in table, you are not allowed to roam our campus once VBS is in rotation mode. Just a lot of information, and that is also on our website for you to look at. Another way to be organized is through maps and signage. You want to make sure that it's very clear, not only on the information that you give to the parents, the communication on where they drop off and pick up, but also on your campus. Many of these people have never been there, so you want it to be very clear. And it's always good to have somebody, maybe a family member or a friend that doesn't come to your church, just somebody with fresh eyes that you can bring and say, okay, I'm used to this place. I'm here every day. If I were telling you that your daughter's going to go over here, what do I need? And it's just good to have somebody with fresh eyes to help you remember what it's like walking on that place for that campus for the first time. Sanctuary seating, we have everything color coded by grade, by character first, and then by color. So this is our sanctuary, and this is where. Right here, we did group last year, so this is the little sea dragon, and this is where our first graders are. Second grade was that little axolotl dude. Third grade is back here, they were the mole. Fourth grade was the little lizard, they're back here. And our fifth grade kids, they were the little hedgehog, red, blue, green, and yellow hedgehogs. So parents know real quick that their child is what character and what color, and that lets them know where they're going to be dropped off and picked up. This never changes. It's the same every day, every drop off and every pickup. And so we have to mark this pretty clearly, and I like, again, to take pictures so I remember what it looks like and how can I get this set up, because this setup on a Sunday morning, we have permission to decorate lightly 2 Sundays before VBS, and it has to have a finishing point. It has to, like, if we're going to start banners on the side, we have to finish that, and then we hold off on everything else. If we're going to have foliage around up in the front, that has to all be done and look good for Sunday morning, and then we pause, we have worship, and that's 2 Sundays before VBS. And then we have our prep week, and that's when we're really in here decorating, getting everything done. But we still have church on that Sunday morning before VBS, so it's not fully decorated. This big balloon arch is hidden back somewhere. These little cardboard characters, those are actually not on the stage. We have our altar in place, our baptismal font, our pulpit, everything is still in place. But once church lets out on Sunday, VBS Eve, boom, we have to get these pew poles that are erected on the pews. They're tied with a giant zip tie. All this stuff has to happen that day. And so that's how I tried to plan ahead of time. I taped to every pew pole is a map and a little highlighted dot that tells them this is where the yellow dog goes. This is where the blue horse goes. And they take that pew pole, they have that map, and they go and take it to that pew, and it's really quick. We get all the finishing touches done pretty quickly because it's already been organized and ready to go, laid out. You can see we decorate huge. I'll tell you a funny story. The first year that we were in this new sanctuary, it's a lot bigger than our worship center. It was Crocodile Dock through group, and we did 2 boats, like boats that we could sit in, and we did 2 little outhouses, and we got in there. I got up in the balcony and I looked and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is a new place. I'm unfamiliar with how big this is. We got our stuff in there and it looked like we hadn't decorated at all. It was so sad looking. So we have thought, how can we be creative? What can we do? I mean, it's a big ceiling, so we have the balloon arch, which really gives us some height. Plastic tablecloth is a great way to do swags in a big building, just to add splashes of color. Yes?
Have you found that your balloon arch lasts the whole week?
It does. It's not cheap, but what they do is they put this stuff called high float, and high float will last for a week.
Okay.
It's great stuff. It's magic. It is magic in a balloon. Yeah, it's awesome. And so, and it really got out of control. Like we had to take a year off balloons because the helium shortage. I think it's a little bit better now, but helium was so expensive, and our price quote almost doubled one year. And we're like, we're going to do without balloons. We have a budget. So, yeah, we like to decorate big, and when you're decorating, you really want to make sure that you have a map of the map out the final product in your mind. I'm really good at that. I know what I want it to look like. I know what I want the end result to look like, but I'm not so great at getting us there. So I've found volunteers and people who love making that come to fruition, and they make little models. I have a gal that works with me, and she gets a shoebox and mimics a hallway, and she gets all these ideas from Pinterest. Do y'all use Pinterest? Okay, good. You have to use Pinterest because they have tons of VBS boards and ideas on how to make things. But you want to make a sample. And even during prep week, when we are allowed to be in the hallways and decorating, we do a little section of the hallway, and we do it from A to Z. completely from start to finish. And then we have volunteers that want to decorate, and we tell them, okay, go to the B hallway, the first 2 classrooms on that side, that's what we want the hallway to look like. Now we want you to go and just replicate it, in all the hallways, and just finish that hallway and make it look like our section. So we only do a little piece, let people come in and see it, and then they just duplicate what they see there. We do a lot of mass producing of decorations. There are moms that stay at home that really want to be involved. Maybe they were in corporate America and now they're a stay-at-home mom, and they're just really needing an outlet to use their creativity. It's a great thing to give them a template, accordion fold, a bunch of butcher paper, and say, I need 500 big leaves cut out. Here's the template, take the paper, and they'll go home and just cut, bring it back, and we have tons of decorations. We also partner with neighboring churches that that are doing the same VBS as we are, and they want to take our decorations afterwards. And I am so happy that they do, because it's a lot of work that goes into these decorations, and they're so pretty, and I hate to think that they would go in the trash after our 1 week with them. So we have churches like starting right now, they're calling, and I have about the same 6 churches that call every year, and they work it out between themselves. They find out from each other when they're all doing their VBS. They stagger, they share decorations, they come on Friday after all the kids are picked up, and it's safe to have non-background checked people and folks that we don't know. It's safe to have them on our campus, and they come help tear down, and they take and haul away these decorations. And last year I got smart, and I thought, you know what, I love giving them these decorations, but I'm going to invite them to come up in April and see the vision that we have, and I'm going to ask them to make some of the stuff and bring it to us. And they did. They loved it. They were so happy to contribute. They were so grateful for all that we give them. They said, you know what, we take and take and take. We would love to partner with you and help you mass produce some of the stuff that you need. All right, so here is a job that we've kind of in the last few years have really poured a lot of time and energy into, and it's the role of the crew builder. This is a group of 5 moms, one for each grade, or maybe it's 7 moms. And what they do, they strategically place kids into crews. They work closely with registration. They have access to all the information that, so-and-so would like to be a buddy with this child. Well, we might know better and know that that's probably not a good combination. And so they work with trying to honor all those buddy requests. We allow kids to put 2 friends' names down. We tell them with over 1,500 registrations, we can't guarantee you're going to get both your buddies, but we're going to try our very best to honor one of those buddy requests. They work closely with the crew leader director. And we do same age crews because we are large. I would love to do multi-age crew groups because that way it's like little families. But if in an emergency with our size of VBS, if I had to find Johnny Jacobs in a minute or less, it's easier for me to know he's in one of these 8 classrooms versus he could be anywhere. So that's why we do same age crews. And if you spend some time in investing on finding the right people to assemble these crews, better crews equal better management. The kids are going to be happier. They're going to behave better. If you know all the best buddies that should not be together, split them up. Like Joy's presenting next door. Her daughter and my daughter are little besties. But if they're together for too long, they don't do so well. So we put them in the same color rotation, so they're in the same classroom, but they're not right on each other, joined at the hip. So that's about organizing. Let's move on to volunteers. I'm going to talk about this role in a little bit. Integrity protectors. Have you ever heard of this? It's kind of a phrase that we invented at Concordia. Basically, it's a fancy word for a potty patrol person. This is a critical job. If you think about a child predator, where are they going to go? They're going to go to a place where it's secluded, where there's closed doors, where privacy is required, restrooms. And so every open restroom that we have on campus that people are going to be using the week of VBS, we have integrity protectors, a male and a female counterpart. Their job is to just be there and make sure that boys are going in with boys into the restroom building, but not into the stalls. And kids are trained and know you may help with hand washing, but that's it. Nobody goes in the stalls with the kids. Girls go with girls. And if they were to see somebody that had no VBS color code shirt, or no name tag, somehow, this has never happened, but somehow somebody got onto our campus and snuck through, and they cannot be there because they're not background checked. So the integrity protectors have my cell phone in their name tag, and they also have our senior pastor and our executive director, so they can contact them and let them know, hey, I need backup over here. There's an adult stranger that I don't recognize. So really important job, integrity protector. All hands on deck is a phrase that we use a lot. That basically means during large events, we're all in it together. Even though I'm the children's ministry director, I'm over VBS, this ensures that our counselor and our associate pastor, they are not allowed to take vacation. Nobody takes vacation during VBS. I know a lot of churches, VBS will come and maybe the pastor will say, okay, you've got this, I'm going to go on vacation. It is so important for these kids to see you as the pastor being silly and doing fun stuff. So all hands on deck. Everybody's there. We're in it together. If you have 25 or 2,000, it's hard, and it takes everybody that is on the same mission, which as staff we should all be. Training. So here, I spend most of my time and energy in VBS and investing in my volunteers. It's about the kids, but the best way I can serve our kids in children's ministry is when I invest heavily into the volunteers. Training is extensive. I'm really proud of the training program that we have with our crew leaders. It's been written by some moms that have been running this part of the program. And this is our motto. Kids safety is number one. And so here are just a few slides taken out of the actual crew leader training. You know, they're in charge of a group of 2 to 6 kids. Count your kids before you leave. Count your kids when you're in transit. Count your kids when you get to your next station. You can hear adults out in the courtyard saying, count your kids, count your kids. It's really important everyone is counting their kids all through the morning to make sure that nobody gets lost. We keep kids hands free, store all the items in their crew leader bag. These are really cheap bags that last for years and years and years from Oriental Trading. They're like a waxed paper kind of bag. They're great and they last for a long time. Stay off your phone when you're walking to your stations. Make sure you're just off your phone the whole morning. We tell crew leaders, if we see your phone, we're going to warn you once, and if we see it again, we're going to take it away and give it back to you at the end of the day. You are here to serve. You are here to be focused on your kids. You can socialize later. Sanctuary safety. Some of these kids come and they've never been in church. They don't know how to behave. So we do a little etiquette. We teach them that there's no standing, there's no gum, there's no food or drink. Make sure that the pew signs are up high so that you safely know where to go to sit with your kids. Again, stay off your phone. We slip that in multiple slides during our presentation with training. The pickup procedure, we talked about that. No releases. Everybody comes up and says, oh, we have to get to swimming, so we just want to pick our kids 5 minutes early. Well, we have 1,100 kids. Everybody doesn't, everybody would like to pick up early and avoid the long line, but unless they prearrange it, they cannot pick up their kids, and if they do, they have to pick it up before they go into final closing worship. We are not going to go and pull out 20 kids every day just to make it easier on the parents. We tell them, listen, this is 1 week. It's a lot of fun. Your kids don't want to miss out. So if they have a dentist appointment on Tuesday, okay, come before 11:45, before they make it into that closing worship, and we will arrange to get your kid when they're coming to the sanctuary for closing. We'll get them for you before they go in for worship. We also empower our kids to say no to an adult. We tell them, we want you to be respectful, but if there's a parent that comes up, an adult that comes up that's not on the name tag for that child, we tell them, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to release this child to you. So please hold on while I get a red shirt adult to help us out. So it might be like the mom forgot to put herself down on the registration form, and she should have caught that at name tag verification, but sometimes they forget and they overlook these things. Make sure that the crew leader, make sure you connect visually with the parent, and we do require photo ID pickup for pre-K every day, kindergarten every day. But by Wednesday in the sanctuary, these crew leaders have had their kids for a couple days. They know mom and dad, and so they don't have to get it out. But the parents, they're told, have it out every time you're going to pick up your kid to show that photo ID. Crew leaders are in the sanctuary. You can see on the edge, blue shirt, blue shirt, blue shirt, blue shirt. That is a gate. kids cannot run out. There's a crew leader on either end of every pew. That's how they're supposed to stay there and make sure the kids don't run off. Another example of when they're standing up. Restroom reminders. We talked about this with the integrity protector role, boys with boys, girls with girls. If you get to a rotation station and you have a child that needs to go to the bathroom, you as a crew leader have to escort that child, but you have 4 other kids. Make sure you look at a crew leader and y'all look at each other and say, okay, I'm taking Sarah to the bathroom. Will you watch my 4 kids until I come back? And that's okay. Children are in the stalls by themselves, and crew leaders, if they need to help with hand washing for the pre-K kids, they can do that. So here are some adults in action. There are some games people walking some kids. You can see how we teach them, you want to hold hands, you want to make a chain, that way nobody gets lost. This little section, if you go up that sidewalk, right there, that cross sidewalk, we call that the Bermuda Triangle. If we have kids that ever get lost, that's where it happens, because it's all this traffic going. And so we've got all kinds of red shirt and orange shirt people standing in that intersection saying, hold your kids, count your kids, make sure that you're not, leaving a kid behind. Here's one of our Bible story rooms. Training for registration, pre-K or pre-registration walk-up and runners. It's a big volunteer team for us, and so we all start training together, but then there's stuff that only applies to pre-reg, and like I said, that's a pretty easy area to work. It's just alphabetical name tag handout. Walk-up registration, they have to know a little bit about data entry. They have to be able to work on a computer. We get our computers out and we do on-the-job training right there. We pull up a fake database and allow them to start entering data so they can practice the registration form. And runners are people, that's a really important job, great for college students or high schoolers that know your campus well and who really can run, because sometimes you need to run goldfish to this pre-K classroom, or maybe there's a kinder kid whose mom came early and we need to go pick them up. So the runners are all over campus just running errands for everybody. Training station leaders, we meet with each station leader director, set clear expectations, and then get out of their way. For Bible story, craft, chatter, games. Kind of like the trickle effect of how our VBS is run. We've got our VBS director, our director staff, and expectations of paid staff. We really are aware of times during the work hours of 8 to 5 when we're all in the office. We're aware of when work might be done and we're all allowed to leave a little early, but we have a whole bunch of VBS volunteers working in the office. If you've got multiple staff people, it doesn't look so good when everyone's taking off at 3:30 and y'all are still sitting there cutting out trees. So our senior pastor is really great at handing over authority, and during the 3 weeks of VBS prep and VBS week, he's really great about saying, okay, everybody, we're in VBS mode. For the next 3 weeks, everyone is working for Nicole. You check in with her when you get here, get your stuff done, and when you're done and you're going to leave for the day, make sure you check in with her before you leave. And be aware if there are volunteers who might be paying for babysitters, who are taking time away from their home schedules to come up and work and help out. So that's just, the all hands on deck mentality is really enforced right there. And here's a couple of our pastors just really having a great time in opening and closing worship. Again, it's not the script that they provide. We don't have time to get that deep into it. So it's just a lot of fun and music and just audience participation kind of activities that they do. Because VBS is so big, you need to slice and dice things. So I'm going to show you a little video clip of one of my favorite old shows from Friends. And this is where Monica and Phoebe have been planning a party for their friend Rachel. And cups and ice, yes. And so Monica is very type A, and she is a leader, and she wants to be in charge of this, but she's asked Phoebe to join her in her mission. Come and join me and do this party with me. And so Phoebe's really excited to share her gifts, but then Monica doesn't let her do anything. And so she says, okay, Phoebe, I'm going to let you go ahead and be in charge of cups and ice. And Phoebe's like, oh, really? Cups and ice? That's all I'm going to do? Well, watch this. This is what Phoebe does with cups and ice.
Hey, check it out. Cup hack, cup banner,
cup chandelier, and the thing that started it all, the cup.
Great job with the cups, babes.
Why don't you just go out with her? And did you notice the ice? Look, we have it all. We have crushed, cubed, and dried. Watch. Ah. Mystical. I don't want to eat my Tuscan finger foods because they're all filling up on Phoebe snow cones.
There are snow cones? Snow cones, it is.
Go.
Thank you.
So we all need Phoebes. We all need Phoebes so that it can make our job a little bit easier. So here is a perfect example of a job that we have totally cups and iced it. And it's tickets. These tickets that, they're just like the rolls of tickets that you can get from Oriental Trading online. You can buy them, I think, at craft stores, but it's like the dual tickets where you tear one off and give away and keep one for a raffle drawing. And so tickets are handed out every day during VBS to all youth helpers, whether they are a green shirt crew leader, blue shirt crew leader, yellow shirt teacher helper, games person, red shirt runner. Anybody who is a volunteer that is under the age of 18 is eligible to get tickets for exceptional behavior. So there's a different color for every day, and we do a draw about 12 to 15 drawings every day. Well, what are these prizes and where do they come from? They're donations from our church members, and they're little. They're $5 gift cards to either Starbucks, Sonic, Orange Leaf, Baskin Robbins, some places that are local favorites for your kids. And there are people that are sitting in the pew that want to be on board. They want to help out, but they can't physically be there for VBS to volunteer their time. But they can donate $25 to go buy 5 gift cards. Well, we have accumulated so many gift cards, so we just, whatever our final number is, we divide that up by 5 evenly and give out that many gifts every day. Now there is a 6th color of tickets, and it's the hot pink ticket. The hot pink ticket is given out every single day, only to those that are going way above and beyond what's expected of them. And what's raffled off on that hot pink ticket is on Friday. It's the very last day, and it's sometimes we have people that give donations just to the VBS fund, and so it's combined monies that have been donated. And last year we were able to give away an awesome prize. I think it was a iPad Mini, which I don't even have that. But here is Friday at VBS. Teardown has started.
So I appreciate you, and I love you, and I respect you. You are amazing. High school students, especially if you are nearing the end of high school, if you need letters of recommendation or things like that, please call the church. We will be happy to help you with those. If you're looking for a job, call the church, and we will be happy to give you a recommendation. You guys are absolutely awesome. How many think you're going to come back this year?
So he's not only getting ready to do the ticket drawing, but he is affirming them, he's praising them, he's talking about mission trips that are coming up, Bible studies for junior high, Bible studies for youth. If you need help getting a job, it's all toward the teens. They're verifying the number, and she's the winner. So that's our volunteers, and we're going to close with just a few tips about the kids. I mean, this is what it's all about. It's about the kids of VBS. So Pastor White is a phrase, not a person. It's a phrase that we have on our walkie-talkies. Whenever there's a child in the Bermuda Triangle who got detached from their snake line of their kids, if we have a child that that is missing from their crew, and the crew leader comes up to us and says, I have 5 kids, but I only have 4. I'm missing Carlos, and he's wearing this and that. So we get on the walkie-talkies, and as soon as I say, or whoever has found this crew leader that's missing a kid, as soon as we say we have a Pastor White, it's silent on the radio. Everyone's listening. Okay, I'm waiting for the description. I need to know what this child is wearing. Is it a boy or girl? What is their name? What is their character? What's their color of their name tag? Where were you guys at your previous rotation? Where did you first notice they were missing, and where are you headed to? And so all of the chit chat on the walkie-talkies just pauses until we can get that Pastor White cleared up. But you have to make sure, if you have a little code word like that, that everybody's on the same sheet of music, because we've had years where volunteers are like, oh, we got a new pastor. Who's Pastor White? I've never met him. But so it's just a little code that we have that doesn't alarm folks that may have the walkie-talkie turned up loud, and there could be a parent volunteer that hears that, what, you're missing a child? So it just eliminates any chaos and panic that could occur after hearing that announcement. Background checks, we just use a place that we fax them off, and it's a company, I think, that's in a couple cities away, but there's all different packages and different ways to do background checks, but I think they're essential. They're, in today's time, unfortunately, it's very necessary. We talked about the integrity protectors. Remember, this is a great job for someone who might be a little bit older, who can't handle the heat, or just being outside. So they're strategically placed in all the restrooms that are open. And while we're on that topic, all the restrooms that are not going to have traffic, they're still a dangerous place. Even if you think no one's going to go by there, this is a building that we don't ever use in VBS. Well, you know that, but there might be some teenagers that know that, or other people that catch wind of that. I tape shut the seam of bathrooms that are not in use, and there's people that go by and check and make sure they haven't been tampered with. So make sure, if it's a building that the door is going to be open and they can get into, but there's a closet or a restroom that's not going to be manned, but it's accessible, make sure that you blockade it somehow and secure it, so that nobody sneaks in there. Because these dangerous places are restrooms, light traffic areas, closed doors, secluded spots. Allergies, or excuse me, special needs, one-on-one buddies for anybody who has special needs, you know, kids with autism, or special dietary things that would cause an anaphylactic reaction. You know, these are kids that need to have an extra pair of eyes dedicated to just them. And so we really do recruit folks that are bilingual, because they're going to need a special buddy to help translate. We have a lot of Spanish-speaking people in our area of San Antonio. There's a special reserve people for volunteers, and we really cast that vision out and say, if you have any experience in special needs, church, we need you. We need help. We need your expertise. We are not trained in that area, but we're taking care of these kids, and we could use either some time ahead of the event where you can provide some training for those who are willing to be here and are able to be here. But better yet, if you're free to join us, please just come, and we can have you job share for a couple of days. You can be with somebody, and then we can have a partner take off days for you. Allergies and medical needs, gosh, these are so common. I think back to when I was in school, I don't remember ever there being a peanut-free table or, you know, peanut allergies, but that's where we are. And so every year we have folks that are in, all of our name tags have like a blue lanyard or a green lanyard. Well, we also have a special color for red, and this is for kids and adults alike. If they have a life-threatening, severe medical or allergy, medical condition or allergy, they get a red lanyard. And it's not to, like, you know, draw attention to them in a bad way, but it's a quick visual when they go into snack. If they see these red lanyards, the folks know, okay, check the name tag, because whatever issue they have, it's going to be printed on their name tag if they have that red lanyard. And we also have a conversation with the crew leader that might be over that child with special severe needs. And this is kind of what our name tag looks like. This is perforated right here on the side. And so this is what stays in mom's purse or in dad's car. And it tells the dad, okay, here's the phone number if you need to reach us. Here is your child's name. A reminder about the photo ID is required. It's got the color. This child is a green horse. Tells me he's a 3rd grader in the green section. This is where they, you know, this is just a field that we had, and it populates all this information and puts it onto the name tag. There are programs that do this. I don't know how it happens. It's magic to me. There are tech people that know how to do this and set it up, but it tells them the pickup time. There's even a little information about Wednesday night is our family night. Come to it. So this is what the parent keeps. This is the name tag for the child. It's folded in half, and it's initialed, verified down here by the parent. All the adults that are authorized to pick up, medical conditions, allergies, all that information. If this has anything in it or this has anything in it, boom, automatically that name tag, there's populated a Red Cross if they have a medical condition, or the allergy stamp if they have an allergy, whether it's seasonal allergies or food. We determine the severity of the medical condition or the allergy. This child, she's got asthma and she's allergic to cats. Well, we don't have a lot of cats at VBS. We don't have any cats at VBS. So is she going to get a red lanyard? Probably not. If it said asthma with anaphylactic reaction, whatever, then yes, she would get a red lanyard. But if we don't know this child, she goes to our school, so we knew she's cool to have the regular mainstream color. If we don't know that child, then we make a phone call and we find out now how severe. If this were to happen, what do we need to do? And that's how we decide if they need that red lanyard. Photo ID required for pickup. We talked about that a couple of times. It's posted everywhere. They've initialed off on it on the parent guide. Drop off and pick up. We talked about that special security area, and there's specific locations for us where pre-K goes, where kinder goes, and then 1st through 5th grade is all together. So you saw in that video with our senior pastor thanking the kids and everybody, you want to be intentional about capitalizing. You have a room full of teenagers, and most of them don't go to our church, and so we want to make sure that they are connected. We want to make sure that during these difficult years of growing up, that they know when their mission trips are. We can connect them with good Christian friends. We thank them, we reward them, and we do a tear down on Friday, get the campus totally cleaned, ready to go for Sunday morning worship, and a pizza party. And so nobody gets pizza until the campus is clean, and it happens quick. The VBS ends at noon. The last kid is picked up by 12:30, 12:40. We do our meeting from like 12:40 to maybe 1 with the final drawing, and then we clean up and they're eaten by 1:40. And then we want them gone and off campus, and we are done. Another year in the books. So VBS is overwhelming, it's exhausting, and so I love this. I am tired. I mean, like Vacation Bible School kind of tired, because it's its own little thing, isn't it? Any questions? I'm going to leave you with one of our highlight videos that our awesome Jonathan, he was just in here, he's been in and out, he's our video editor. We do a lot of video at Concordia, and so this is our highlight video from last VBS, last summer.
On your mark, get set, go! Jesus is our Savior, His love will never end. All around the world, something's going on about Jesus' love. It's amazing. He loves us all so much with a love so strong. No one else could love us more. It's amazing.
So again, that card on your on your tables has information on how to reach me. Could someone get the light back there right by that door? Thank y'all so much for coming. Do y'all have any questions or anything that we can kind of network and talk about and learn from each other? I'd like to hear what you guys are planning and have experienced and been a part of.
I have a random
Okay.
question. Is the integrity protectors,
Uh-huh.
what do you do with kids who are newly potty trained?
Kids that are newly potty trained.
What age do you typically start?
That's a good question. We used to have VBS for 3-year-olds as of June 1 through 5th grade, but it got to be so big that we thought, you know what? I firmly believe that 3-year-olds can do VBS. I firmly believe 2-year-olds can, but when it's as big as ours is, I don't think that's the best trial for a family to say, this is going to be the first event that you're away from mom all day, all morning. And so we have increased the age to pre-K. Pre-K still sometimes kind of needs some help. So in our director gamut of volunteers, we also have pre-K room moms. They are not teachers. They don't plan or prepare anything. They are just a chief crew leader in that classroom. So the little kindergarten, or say pre-K, is the dragonflies. There is all the crew leaders in that red classroom of red dragonflies. There's also one room mom who's in a yellow shirt. She's not teaching or presenting, but she is an adult. So in the Bible story room for pre-K, there's the Bible story teacher, but there's also the head chief room mom. And so these are moms that are okay, and you know, we have gloves if the kids need help with wiping or if they've had an accident. We have our nurse's office open, and so we do have extra changes of clothes, and we could call parents, but we do say that they have to be potty trained to come to VBS. Now, we do allow some 3-year-olds to come, and those are 3-year-olds as of June 1, and if their mom or dad is going to be on campus working, because chances are, if they're 3, as overwhelming as all that is, it's too much for them. It's overwhelming, and so chances are they're not going to make it the whole day. And so that way, if mom's on campus, she's trying to volunteer, but if it doesn't work out, mom can come get the child. Any other questions? All right, well, thank y'all so much. Have a great day, and God bless y'all. Thank you.